Yo, what's up guys, it's TBAG, and yesterday, as part of the EA created program, I was invited to play the new Battlefield 2042 Season 1 update called 0 Hour. It's been a long time coming, but finally, after, I don't know, 8 months, we finally get Season 1. And in this video, I'm gonna show you everything that's mention worthy in the shortest amount of time. But first, let's stop. And please subscribe to the channel. I always forget to say this in my videos, but it really works. People tend to subscribe more when I say it out loudly like this at the start of the video. So please subscribe and let's begin. This is not sponsored, by the way. I was just invited to play it early, so I'll be honest with my feedback as I always am. So let's do this quickly. Season 1 for Battlefield 2042 is called 0 Hour and will launch on the 9th of June, so 2 days from this video. As you've probably seen from the trailer and the teasers, the whole color palette has been changed to orange, similar to the Pacific update we had in Battlefield 5. The color change is unfortunately not visible in the menu screen, which is kind of a bummer. At least in the build that I've played, maybe it's gonna be different when the thing launches. As far as the content goes, we get one new map, one new specialist, 2 new weapons, 1 new gadget that can be used by everyone, 2 new helicopters, 1 for each team, so it's basically 1 new vehicle, and the Season 1 Battle Pass, and then a bunch of smaller updates. Let's quickly start with the map. It's called Exposure, and in my opinion, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It is set in Canada, and it has a lot of verticality, which is pretty cool. The whole layout of the map is interesting, but for some reason, I didn't manage to get into a match with either 64 or 128 real players for some reason, so I haven't experienced it to the fullest, but I think people will generally enjoy this map. By the way, this map will have 64 players on Breakthrough and 128 players on Conquest, but I believe that any future map from Season 2 and onwards will be designed with only 64 players in mind. Now, unfortunately, it is just one map. I honestly expected way more for 8 months without any new content, so that is really disappointing. But hey, I guess we all knew this was coming. They will change some of the existing maps too, like Kaleidoscope, but that will happen in August, so yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be a little while. We also get a new specialist called Liz. She is a Polish anti-armor soldier and she has a remote controlled rocket launcher, so basically a TV missile, and I'm telling you, when everybody is using this specialist at the start of Season 1, every beginning of every round is gonna be hell, because you will see these things fly everywhere. They go pretty fast, so it's pretty difficult to control, but that also means that they have a pretty long range, so it could be really annoying. I wouldn't say it's overpowered yet, because you need to have several hits to take out a tank or a helicopter, and you only get 2 of them. And I actually checked if you can just spam them with an ammo box next to you, and luckily you cannot. There is a cooldown like most of the gadgets. The splash damage for this rocket is also minimal, so unless you get a direct hit, it's gonna be a bit difficult to take out infantry. As for her passive trait, she can see damaged or hacked vehicles through walls, and you know, that could be useful to pop in and out with C4 or something like that. Also, this specialist cannot equip a normal rocket launcher or the anti-air rocket launcher because of her main gadget, so keep that in mind. Overall, I don't think she's overpowered by any means. It's just that at the beginning of the round, it could be extremely annoying when everybody that's playing as her, you know, will probably use this remote controlled TV missile, and it's gonna be everywhere, and I think it's gonna be extremely annoying, but we'll have to wait and find out. We also get 2 new weapons, the Ghostmaker R10 Crossbow and the Bsvm Marksman rifle. The crossbow is, in my opinion, pretty garbage. It can one-hit kill people from close to medium range, I think. I didn't really have time to test it out actually, because I was mainly using the Bsvm Marksman rifle, which is without a doubt the best gun in the whole game. It's basically a VSS that can be converted into an ASVAL, and if they won't change it from the build that I played, I'm telling you, everybody is gonna use this gun. It is permanently suppressed, so you don't appear on the enemy's minimap. You can actually toggle it to full auto, and you can change the attachments to make it an extremely high damage SMG. The only drawback this gun has is the low muzzle velocity, but besides that, it is absolutely incredible. It's very good as the Marksman setup, and from up close, it shreds with the SMG setup. But I found that if you use the high damage rounds and the short barrel for the higher rate of fire, you have an insane time to kill on all ranges, and this gun also has pretty much 0 recoil. It also leaves 0 tracers, so I often didn't even know where I got shot from with this gun, which was really annoying, so we'll see how that plays out. Moving on, we also get a smoke grenade launcher as a universal gadget. It's pretty standard, but don't sleep on this thing, it's actually pretty good. You get, I believe, 3 rounds and it creates a large wall of smoke for visual cover. For the vehicle category, we get 2 new stealth helicopters, 1 for each team, and honestly, these helicopters are pretty dope. They are extremely agile and they have more weapons than your usual scout or attack heli. They have 2 seats, 1 for the pilot and 1 for the gunner, and the gunner has 2 weapons. His main weapon is a suppressed HMG with a high rate of fire, which is pretty interesting, but also pretty hard to use because it's not firing explosive rounds, so there is no splash damage, which means you have to directly hit the target, and that can be pretty tricky when moving all over the place in a helicopter. Pretty sure the hitboxes are bigger for this weapon, but it's still more difficult. For light vehicles, it also does pretty decent damage, and as a secondary, you have an EMP grenade, which is actually pretty useful to disable tanks or even other helicopters. The pilot, on the other hand, can have a bunch of different weapons. Its main weapon is either machine gun pods or a 30mm cannon, you know, pretty self-explanatory. As a secondary, you have air-to-ground missiles, anti-air missiles, or a wire-guided missile. But you have one more option in this helicopter. You can select the stealth mode, which will reduce your helicopter signature, and that means that you can basically not be targeted by lock-on weapons, which is pretty useful, but you also can't use your main weapons. Instead, in stealth mode, you have access to these bombs that you can drop, and I'm telling you, the blast radius for these bombs are pretty insane, so I expect some incredible multi-kills when this season drops. And last but not least, we also get the Season 1 Battle Pass. In the background you can see what you unlock at which tier, so feel free to pause the video to get a better look. Honestly, I have to admit, most of the cosmetics that you can unlock look pretty cool. Also, all of the gameplay related content, such as the new vehicles and stuff, is unlockable obviously without buying the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass itself is around 10 bucks or 10 euros, and of course everyone who bought the Year 1 edition, like me, will get it for free. The Battle Pass itself is nothing new, you know, it's pretty much the same thing we have in games like Warzone and stuff. And that's all there is to it pretty much. Here's my honest opinion. I honestly think that the quality of the content we're getting is actually pretty good. The build that I played yesterday felt pretty solid. I didn't rage every 10 seconds like I normally do, and perhaps it's gonna be different on console because the early access was obviously on PC, but it genuinely felt pretty good. The new choppers are very fun, the new crossbow sucks, but the Bsvm Marksman rifle is insanely good. I'm telling you, everybody's gonna use it. The map itself is also pretty cool. And I guess that's about it. Like I said, the quality of the content is pretty good, but after waiting 8 months for Season 1 to drop, I was hoping to get way more than just this content. Back in the early days when you still had premium instead of live service, we would get like 4 new maps at least and a bunch of new guns with each new DLC. Now, I'm not saying that live service was a mistake, because it's not. Premium is outdated in today's gaming landscape. You know, you don't want to divide the player base with paid for content and free content. And we do know that the live service model can work really well. I mean, just take a look at Modern Warfare or Fortnite, probably the best example of a successful live service game. But for Battlefield, it has been kind of a failure, unfortunately. So, with that being said, let me know down below what you think of Season 1. Do you think it's enough? Did you expect more? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also join the Discord, link for that is down below. And with that being said, I see you guys next time.